What's up guys, this is Invoked 101 and today I'm doing my Demise deck profile. This is Demise, Ruin, End of the World, whatever you want to call it. It's the level 10 ritual deck that came out of Cybernetic Horizon. So as most people know, Cybernetic Horizon isn't exactly the greatest set in the world, but we do have some kind of neat archetypes. And this was an archetype I took a bit of interest in, so let's kind of zoom in, set the other stuff aside, and talk about the monsters. I just woke up, so if I sound a little weird, that's usually why. So for our rituals, for our Demise rituals, we have three Demise Supreme King of Armageddon. So if this guy is ritual summoned using only ritual monsters, you don't have to pay life points to activate his effect. And his other effect is that you can pay 2,000, destroy as many other cards on the field as possible, and if you do, inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each destroyed card they control. He's also Demise King of Armageddon while on hand and in field. He's 3k level 10. And while he's on the field, while this ritual summon card is on the field, your ritual monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool card. The main boss monster of the deck. And then we're also using one of the old Demise. This one's from the Mega Pack. And his effect is you can ritual summon, oh wait, wrong part. Pay 2,000 life points. You can pay 2,000 life points, destroy all other cards on the field. And he's a 24 2000 level 8, so. And then we also run 3 Little Demise, which, there you go. Little Demise, Agent of Armageddon. So what 1800, 1000. So what he does is when he's ritual summoned, you get to pop a face-up monster on the field, and then if he's sent to the graveyard, you can target one ritual monster you control. While it's face-up on the field, your opponent can't activate cards or effects in response to the activation of ritual monster effects, meaning that your ritual monsters can't be ghost ogred or anything like that. So that's very nice. That's it for the Demise cards. I think I would run a second medium Demise just to kind of fill it out. Also because of some other cards in the deck. So for our Ruins, I'm running 2 Ruin Supreme Queen of Oblivion. And her effect is when this ritual summon card is on the field, ritual monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects. If all monsters use the ritual summon this for ritual monsters, it can make a second attack during each battle phase. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to that destroyed monster's original attack. So she's a 29 3000, so a little bit weaker than the Demise monster, but she is definitely the more battle heavy one, just being able to swing twice. Yeah, so she's okay. Right. So then I'm also running one old Ruin, the original Ruin. This one's actually my old super rare from forever ago. So what she does is if she destroys an opponent's monster in battle, she can attack again in a row. So that's her. And then lastly, we're running one little Ruin, Angel of Oblivion. And her effect, while this card, if this card is ritual summoned, it can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, target a ritual monster you control while it's face up on the field. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when your ritual monsters declare attacks. So theoretically, you could actually build a deck based around Ruin or a deck based around Demise. I kind of put them both together because they kind of work together, and also it just gives you more targets for each other. Plus they use the same ritual spell, so no reason not to run it. But that's it for our ritual monsters. I like this amount. Like I said, I'd probably run another Demise if I could. So for our non-ritual monsters, we're running 3 plant and 3 candle. So plant and candle, if you haven't seen my Vandred deck profile, what they do is this one searches a ritual monster, this one, right? Or is this the spell card one? Yeah, so basically you reveal either a ritual monster or a ritual spell, you special summon the other one from deck and the first one from hand, and then you search what you didn't reveal. So if you reveal the spell, you search a ritual monster. If you reveal the monster, you search a spell. So that's how they work. And then for the last monster in the deck, I'm running 3 Sonic Bird. 3 Sonic Bird, just because I found them in my bulk last night. Pretty useful. I actually ended up using this guy a lot in like my test hands, so I like him. If I had Monju's, I'd run Monju's because I believe he searches a monster or a spell, so if you have Monju's, run that over Sonic Bird because it definitely does do a bit more, but I had Sonic Bird, so that's what I'm using. And yeah, that's it for the monsters. You don't need too many monsters. So let's talk about the spells and traps. So our first spell card is 3 Cycle of the World. I'm putting them like way down here, I'm sorry. So I'm running 3 Cycle of the World. So what this does is this can summon Ruin or Demise, and that means any of them because they all become the originals in the hand, so which is very unfortunate for Mind Crush. This deck does lose super hard to Mind Crush. It's used to ritual summon Ruin or Demise. You can also tribute monsters. You must also tribute monsters from your field whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. So this does have to summon from field, which is very unfortunate. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle this card into the deck, add 1 End of the World from your deck to your hand, and then add an OG Ruin or Demise from the graveyard to your hand. So this does only, because Demise and Ruin, like all the retrains are Demise and Ruin on hand and field, they aren't in the graveyard, so you can't like scoop up a dead little Ruin or a little Demise. It has to be the original level 8 Ruin and Demise. And for this, I'm also running 1 End of the World. And so this does still work with pre-prep and the original Demise and Ruin because it does list them. So that's why you only need 1 End of the World in the deck. I actually do think, I am thinking about running 3 just because if you shuffle this back into the deck and then search 1, it instantly gives you a ritual spell to use. And running 3 of like this isn't too bad. This one just has to be exact. That's the only difference. But this one can use hand or field. And then for other spells, I'm running 3 Turning of the World, which this card is used to ritual summon. It's a quick play spell that is also a ritual spell. It ritual summons Demise and Ruin from your hand or deck. You must also tribute ritual monsters from your hand whose total levels equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. You can only activate 1 of these. So what's really cool about this is if you have the level 4 in hand, if you have like 2 level 4s in hand, you can flip this over. Is this say exact level? Whose total levels meet or exceed. So yeah, so if you have so this lets you tutor out OG Demise or Ruin from the deck, which still is really unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I always thought I always thought this was really good for a little bit there, and then I was like, oh no, that's not good at all. What would be nice is if it said a Demise or Ruin ritual monster from the deck. That would be really good. So for the last spell that is there themed is Breaking of the World. So this card is really cool. So what this does is this lets you, once per turn, you can target a ritual monster you control, show a ritual monster to your opponent that's in your hand, and the ritual monster in your hand becomes the targeted ritual monster's level. So say I had the level 10 in hand and the level 4 on field, I show my opponent this one, and this one becomes level 4. Then if Ruin or Demise is ritual summoned once per turn, you get to either draw a card or destroy a card on the field. So usually I go for the draw card. And I think these are both, yeah, these are both softs. So if you're able to like ritual summon, like you have 2 of these in hand and you're like ritual summon the first one and then you go for a second one and ritual summon again, you can draw 2 cards. So there's that, which is kind of neat. And to search this, we are, of course, are running 3 Terraforming. Because this is kind of an important card to the deck, it does help you recur your hand. This deck is, I feel like this is a better ritual deck than Vendread's. So if you, like, you can yell at me in the comments for forsaking Vendread's. For the last few spells in the deck, the last 4 spells, I'm running 2 preparations. This card is really dope. So It lets you add a level 7 or lower, so just the level 4 rituals in this deck. And then it lets you grab a ritual spell from your graveyard. I opened this with, with this, and I looped it and summoned 3 ritual monsters with it. With the 1 card, I opened 2 of them, and I looped it, which, like, to me is nuts. So I do want to put a 3rd one in here. I also do want to put in a 2nd and 3rd copy of End of the World, at least a 2nd copy of End of the World. And then I'm running 2 pre-preps to search Demise and Ruin. This is really just for that, but at the same time, I think I'm gonna end up taking these out, or just cut it down to 1 for the prep, and then the 1 pre-prep, just in case. These are like just in case cards, but I've actually opened it like every test hand I've done. And then 1 Monster Reborn for the last spell card. And for our trap, I'm only running 2 traps in the deck, and that is Renewal of the World. So Renewal is kind of neat. It has 2 effects that both activate. So when it's activated, you banish a ritual monster from your deck. And then you can activate 1 effect, and that's tribute 1 monster from your hand or field, or shuffle 1 ritual monster, from your graveyard into the deck, whose level equals or exceeds the level of the banished monster. Or you can add the monster that you banished to your hand, and you can only activate 1 effect per turn, and you can only activate 1 renewal per turn. So there you go. And that's it for the deck. There's no extra deck. You can run rank 10s. I actually did some like rank 10 plays using this guy in the field spell. You can run rank 4s and rank 8s as well, because this deck can make those. It's just kind of like janky to make them because you need the field spell to do it. It's a pretty good deck, but I want to say it's pretty good. It's okay. And it is a lot of fun to play and summon these like giant 3K beaters that but they sadly don't do a lot once they're on the field. They needed to do something a little bit more. And honestly, I think the ritual spell works fine. And I think that them being Demise and Ruin on hand and field is fine as well. But I think what would have been much better is if the quick play spell, since it can summon from deck, would have said Demise or Ruin ritual monster. I think that would have been a lot better, because then you could summon out the king from the Supreme King from the deck, or the Supreme Queen, or the Agent. It just would have been, I feel that the deck would have much more appreciated a card like that than summoning the OGs from some 2 decades old monsters from the hand, from the deck. But yeah, tell me what you guys think about this deck in the comments below. Tell me what I can do to improve it. Like I said, I do want to put Manjus in it. I do want to add more End of the World to it. I actually used to have a really old copy of this, but I can't find it. I do want to put more of that in. But yeah, just tell me some stuff I can do to improve this deck, and I will see you guys in the next video.